was born a healer. Everybody was born with these beautiful gifts. You can help yourself to heal in any dimensions, and you can help others to heal too, allowing yourself to become a love radiator. Once you turn yourself and you position yourself in that position, any place you go to, you have this love with you, radiating this power to help others with more peace, help the world with more peace. Of course, you will like attracts like. You're able to attract the people who have the same energy, people who have the same heart to connect, so that you can go deeper into your heart to discover how powerful you are.
All the major, Qigong arts that evolved through millennia in China all put one in touch with nature and natural processes, and so that one synchronizes one's internal physiological processes and energy, if you will, with macrocosmic flows of energy. And that communion of microcosmic to macrocosmic energy is, I think, a benchmark, a criteria for any form of Qigong. I just want to talk about, there's just a vast variety of Qigong systems. Just what you've demonstrated, what you've presented here with we presenters has been a very fascinating variety of systems and styles, which is very enjoyable to see. So.
Yeah, it's such a great thing to be here in the middle of it, and I know it's such a great offering for the world. It's like a smorgasbord, a buffet of Qigong and things. People can try different things and see what they like.
Let's consider nature in a slightly different way, at least during this period of confinement. And that is to say that nature is us. So the idea that we are disconnected from nature is kind of a Western disease. As much nature contact as possible, combined with our Qigong and meditation, all of these elements come together in order to help us reset the way we look at ourselves and the world. And that reset is the best antidote that I can think of to the fear and panic and alienation of this time.
So it is particularly the West that's lost its way. The West in its quest for faster and more electronic and world domination, it's lost its way, where the Eastern way, the ancient Chinese way, is to be in harmony.
Thank you guys for being here. I really appreciate this, and I know our viewers do too. I've got friends watching on Facebook who are messaging me, telling me how great it is. So it's great to get that reflection, that feedback from the world that we're doing some good in the world, that we're helping to inspire people to practice, helping to educate people, and share some really practical information that people can apply in the current situation. And I actually this is a great place to enter, because I remember that one of the things that you said, Chunyi, is a healer in every home, and that's like the motto of Spring Forest Qigong, going back a while. But it is, so like many things, it's so much more pertinent now. It's so much more meaningful now. There's so many things, everything that we have known all along we're supposed to be doing. We're supposed to be keeping our stress down. We're supposed to be managing our health in preventive ways through sleep, diet, exercise, meditation, mind-body practices, and all of that stuff has always been true. It's like it's more true now. You know what I mean? It's more true now than it's ever been. So I'm curious to hear perspectives from all of you about whether you see that coming about as a result of the current global health crisis, is in a greater awareness of and respect for preventive lifestyle, rather than, I want to say preventive medicine, but preventive lifestyle measures as being not just a luxury, but something that you really can't ignore. And anyone who would like to speak first to that, feel free.
Well, the first book I remember reading was The Yellow Emperor's Guide to Internal Medicine, and supposedly written 300 BC. And he talked about that the lifespan was 6 decades, but some people lived to be 90 or 100 and they were considered immortal. So I think I was 31, 32 years old when I first read that book. And I said, that's what I want to do for the rest of my life. I want to live like the ancients. I want to become an immortal. And it was surprising to me when I found out not everybody shared my enthusiasm for wanting to be immortal. Nobody in my circle wanted to live forever. They're like, hey, when it's your time, your time. You got to die from something. I'm like, wow, what a weird attitude. So I've always wanted to live in a certain way. And I think that all of us should be teaching our students and our clients and our family and friends how to live forever. So I think the preventive lifestyle is the ancient lifestyle. And I think that's what we should go back to, and that's what we should promote.
Yeah, it has to do with going back to nature in a sense.
Well, that's all we used to have. There was no going back nature because we were in nature. You know, certain parts of the world, they live outdoors. They have buildings that they sleep inside of, but they cook outside and they live outside. So it is particularly the West that's lost its way. The West in its quest for faster and more electronic and world domination, it's lost its way, where the Eastern way, the ancient Chinese way, is to be in harmony. And that's what Taoism is all about, is being in harmony with nature. So
I can completely relate to the joy and the benefit of being outside, as having grown up and spent a lot of time outdoors in the wilderness, and it's it's an amazing thing to be in touch with. And was did you want to expound more on that, Terry?
Yeah, sure. I agree totally. In terms of the ancient Chinese holistic arts, the indigenous ones were Taoist, and Taoism is one of the most ancient, original, back to nature, emulate nature, natural philosophies, and then also / religions. And all the major, Qigong arts that evolved through millennia in China all put one in touch with nature and natural processes, and so that one synchronizes one's internal physiological processes and energy, if you will, with macrocosmic flows of energy. And that communion of microcosmic to macrocosmic energy is, I think, a benchmark, a criteria for any form of Qigong, okay? And health is a natural. And there are so many different varieties, and in this very, uncertain and fearful age, there's a lot of fear out there, let's be honest, this age of the pandemic, people are, of course, spending a lot more time indoors, if not all their time, and they have time to think about their health. And that's the silver lining of this. They are listening to health experts. They understand what the risk factors are for this coronavirus. And I think if you have common sense, you're going to address those risk factors and try and eliminate them from your life. Hence, all sorts of good health practices, diet, exercise, and holistic health, self-regulated exercises like Qigong, Tai Chi, etc. So, and quite honestly, I've been teaching, I'm just developing my online presence. I've been just teaching in-person classes and workshops ever since the early 80s. And it's only, when I knew this was coming back in November, December, I said, I think we better gear up the online. So I'm kind of behind the curve with everyone, and Lama Tandrapa could tell you how much of a learning curve I'm going down in terms of just this using Zoom and other video conferencing systems. But in terms of holistic health, Qigong systems are a marvelous path because you could study with a great teacher, and even some solid systems can be learned from media, from books and videos. And so it's more and more readily available. And I just want to talk about, there's just a vast variety of Qigong systems. Just what you've demonstrated, what you've presented here with we presenters has been a very fascinating variety of systems and styles, which is very enjoyable to see. So.
Yeah, it's such a great thing to be here in the middle of it, and I know it's such a great offering for the world. It's like a smorgasbord, a buffet of Qigong and things people can try different things and see what they like. You spoke about the presence of fear, which is actually a good thing to speak to. I'm curious to hear from one of our other presenters about this, about kind of the state of fear in the world and what that means, how to address it, and practical steps that people can take if they're experiencing fear of whatever kind.
Well, if you want to talk about fear, then one of the easiest things we can do is to send qi to the kidneys. So we have kidney yin and we have kidney yang, and kidney yang being the endocrine function. So any exercises that lifts the knee, turns the waist, works the lumbosacral area, that's going to squash fear. In fact, one of our Qigong exercises, Golden Rooster stands on one leg. All that gets rid of fear. And then another Tai Chi exercise where you kick your leg to the side, that sends energy into the kidneys. So there's certain exercises that we all do that benefit the kidneys, and that accumulatively eliminates fear. So if all the instructors worked on teaching how to boost kidney qi, kidney yin, kidney yang, then that's an easy way to get rid of fear.
Actually, I have another point of view about fear, or an additional point of view.
Thank you.
In our Aboriginal state, fear was, oh, the tiger is coming to the village. Or more appropriately, oh, there's the tiger at the edge of my cave. Oh no, better run, better fight, whatever. Maybe fear might have been associated with a lack of forage material and starvation. It might have been associated with a terrible winter where people were freezing. And oh, I'm afraid I'm going to freeze to death. But so very much of the fear that we are experiencing now,
this is worldwide, 1,000 people. Excuse me.
Particularly around this pandemic, is fear that is culturally and socially generated, and that is not actually genuine and is not coming from a place of internal true knowing. So what I'm trying to get to is some kind of reframing of who and what we are and what we're actually doing here, which is a reframing that frankly is encouraged by forced isolation to an extent and would be enhanced further by a little bit of a diet off of digital media that would allow us some more contemplative time for the faculties of attention and concentration to return to us. And as much nature contact as possible, combined with our Qigong and meditation. All of these elements come together in order to help us reset the way we look at ourselves and the world. And that reset is the best antidote that I can think of to the fear and panic and alienation of this time.
Yeah, I love to bring the the nature element, as in, you know, I mean, we talk about nature, and like really the term I think is of wilderness, like, you know, the woods, the trees, the, you know, plants and animals around, what people think of as nature, which nature is this all encompassing metaphysical thing is, but there's also just like the actual wilderness, the living earth itself, and also the metaphysical aspect of where fear comes from. Are there
Yep.
yeah
Okay. Well, the way I look at all these symptoms like pains and fears, energy blockages in the body, or the names of different kind of diseases, they're all because of the energy blockages in the body. First of all, I think the world should know about the origin of Qigong. So how people developed Qigong in the past, in history. And so through my 30 years of studies, I found out Qigong, Qigong movement and philosophy were developed and discovered by those people, I mean the ancient Chinese people, who were sick and who were looking for a way to help themselves to heal. So that's why we have so many different forms of Qigong existing in the world, because from different perspectives, from different regions, from different areas, based on the culture, based on the landscaping, and also people have different challenges in their life. So they develop different movements and imitating the nature, imitating the movements of animals. They discovered that a certain movement would benefit the body in a certain way. So gradually after that in history, and a lot of scholars and Chinese medical doctors got involved with all this process of studies. And then later on, they found out these simple studies and movements not only can help people to balance the energy blockages, aches and pains like arthritis in the body, it can also help to open people's heart, making connection to the divine. And by doing so, healing becomes a byproduct. Healing the physical body or healing the emotions, fear, anger, frustration, they're all just byproducts of doing this movement. So now it leads to another question. And most people in our world now so just consider Qigong as another form of exercise. Here, Qigong is not a regular exercise. And it has its very unique way to help to activate the power of qi in the body. Now, so talking about qi, many people simply just put qi and energy together as one. And for instance, what is the difference between energy and the qi? You say, well, qi is the way the Chinese ancestors or the Chinese medical doctors or Chinese Qigong masters, Tai Chi masters to describe energy. Actually, that is not the case. Energy is a force, that's my understanding. And it is something physical. You can touch, you can see, you can feel. That's the energy, like electricity. And qi is so different. Qi is a form of energy, a force, which has consciousness and intelligence. Once you activate this intelligence in the body, and this qi knows exactly what to do for you. It has, the Chinese called the Yuan Qi, right? The origin of qi, it has the life blueprint information to help you to fix any damaged tissues, any damaged cells in the cellular level, and it knows simply how to do it for you. So, and if you have like emotions and fear is anger, frustration, by activate this original qi with intelligence, it knows exactly how to help yourself to ground your energy so that you can be peaceful again. And so because of this, the way to activate this qi is unique. It is not like a regular exercise. When you see the Qigong movement, this is the characteristics of Qigong movement. Simple movement, repeated the same movements again and again for a long time, and you do it slowly, gently, softly. In this way, only when your heart, when your mind, when your spirit and your body are in sync with each other and in peace, that's the way you can get yourself back to the source. In that place, you are able to activate that origin of qi with intelligence to help you. In Chinese, call it the Yuan qi. And so once that one activates, then all the other things will become easy. And so now the question is, how can you activate? That means our ancestors, through the lifetime practice, and they discovered this Qigong movement. So simple, so gentle, and repeated movement can help you to get into it. And then there's many techniques we are used in the Qigong practice. One of the very outstanding, unique, which we consider it as a secret in Qigong practice. Like, it's differentiates in Qigong movement from any other exercises and meditation techniques I know. And for instance, when we say relax, you do the mindfulness meditation, relax yourself, and you just relax, let go with the muscles, and then you simply just put yourself into like a sleeping mode, something like that. And but Qigong relaxation is not like that. It has a word called song. What it means, you relax yourself with a little attention to your muscles, to your ligaments, to your tendons. You need to put your body in between, showing strong muscle tones, and then relax. You have that right in the middle of that. That is the place in the Qigong practice, we call it the void. Only in that void, when you put your body in that tone, you are able to activate the essence of qi, the intelligence of qi. And only at that moment, you are able to get the qi, the chemical defensive qi, nutritive qi, and many other different forms of qi, work in the body in sync with each other. And then, so when that happens, all the other things, what we talk about, aches and pains, tumors, migraine headaches, sleeping apnea, and diarrhea, tumors, and fears, angers, they all go away by themselves. Recently, I just finished 30 days live on Facebook, conducting the Qigong practice every morning to thousands of people all over the world. And so by doing those simple movements, people call me back and give me feedback and say, wow, my fears went away, I feel so calm, and my pain has went away. We do this in 30 days for helping people with coronavirus. So people who had the symptoms, practice, they got better. And the people who had some other problems or some other challenges, by doing the simple movements, and their emotion get balanced. So, and that's my view about Qigong practice. Thank you.
I want to talk about another aspect of fear that people are experiencing, and hear what you guys' perspective on it is, which is people are experiencing fear and anxiety for themselves in some cases, or sometimes for others, for loved ones, like physical fear of being sick or worse. and people are also experiencing a lot of anxiety and fear around financial health and the economy generally, and their individual financial health and those of family and loved ones and the rest of the world. So I'm curious to hear some perspectives on how Qigong relates to financial health as a form of energetic health and health of the whole human mind, body, spirit, energy system. How does that tie in? Monk Yun Rou, is there, do you have a perspective on that?
I actually think that Chunyi's point and this question go together in an interesting way. The idea that there is this interplay between the mind and the body. And from one point of view, your mindset, cultural and social setups and paradigms affect your health. And from the other point of view, your physical health and your chi flow affect your social and cultural perspectives. And there is this, these things are not in opposition and they're not mutually exclusive. Actually, they're a system. They work together. We exist in nature, in the world. My own Tai Chi master used to remind me that Tai Chi doesn't work in space. You can't do it very well at the International Space Station because there's no gravity there. And the relationship between
my Sifu said the same thing. It doesn't work in outer space.
On gravity. So the point is, of course, that the more opportunity we have, I don't mean only to take walks in nature, because for a lot of people who are watching, that is actually not logistically possible. And if it is, go for it. But if it isn't, let's consider nature in a slightly different way, at least during this period of confinement. And that is to say that nature is us. So the idea that we are disconnected from nature is kind of a Western disease. And it has to do with speed and greed culture. It has to do with the urge for domination. And the way that this subject connects to your question about financial security or financial health, financial well-being, is that the minute we concentrate on what's in it for me, this really obnoxious term that I see bandied about a lot, enlightened self-interest, which I find to be sort of a perversion of the idea of karma, that I'm only going to do the right thing if it's going to benefit me somehow. I'm going to, this guy just fell down on his bicycle and I'm going to run over and help him because I see that he's wearing a t-shirt for a tire company and maybe he works there and maybe someday I'll need a tire. And if I help him, I'll get a better price on a tire. This kind of really sell people short approach to orienting your work and your gainful employ in the direction only of yourself rather than of integrating with service and your community and your world. This is an opportunity for us to reframe what work means, what creates value in the world for us and by our deeds. And that's the way I'm trying to bring these two things together.
I love it. I love it. Thank you. Are there other perspectives on the intersection of physical, energetic, financial health?
Well, I think the word financial health is out of context with Qigong. I think the better word would be success, and how you define success, and are you successful in your intention, your focus, and your drive. I think in terms of measuring finances, I don't think that has anything to do with Qigong. But if you have a farm, if you have a delivery service, if you have something that you're passionate about, that you give your energy to, and then you do Qigong as a consistent daily practice, you're going to be better at your delivery. You're going to be better at growing vegetables. You're going to be better at whatever it is you do, and that will bring you success. But to measure it in terms of dollars and cents, I think that's the wrong way to look at it. Now, if you had in-person personal students, live students, and then you don't have access to live students, then you've got to change that into, oh, I can do online students, or I can drive somewhere and do students there. So you find a way to move your energy through whatever obstacles there are. So I think doing Qigong as a consistent daily practice is going to make you successful at whatever you choose.
I would agree.
So what are some of the biggest lessons that that you think we're going to take away from this, or the biggest opportunities or developments in terms of focusing on the silver linings, and what is the good that you see coming out of this in the short term or the long term, as in the global health crisis?
I think that the ancients isolated themselves.
Actually, did you have something to share about that, Terry? And just for a time check, we're about 10 minutes from the end of the hour, so so just so everybody's aware.
Yeah, thanks. I had something to say about the last question about the impact of on financial fears and so forth, and fear in general. I just want to add this one opportunity, your current question about how you can find the silver lining given the circumstances. At least this country, or most of the country, is locked down and people are staying at home. If you look at, and this is a paradigm we use in counseling, in certain schools of counseling. If you look at your life as a pie with 4 quadrants, okay, you can look at you could do one thing which is very helpful. You can keep problems from those 4 areas from bunching together. And that creates excess unnecessary anxiety. But backing up a bit, those 4 slices are, number one slice of the pie is work, livelihood, okay? Another quadrant, 1/4, is relationships and family life, okay? Your personal life, family life. Third are your hobbies, okay? That's an important slice of the pie. And then 4th is your spiritual life. Whatever your practice is, whatever your belief in spirituality, or whatever it is. Those 4 areas, if you examine your life closely, you can plan your life using that model. You could see when 2 quadrants are too fused, and then you have certain phenomena known as cult manipulation, okay? When family life, work, and spiritual life is controlled by one person or one entity. You can look at a lot of things, but also it's a very important, useful device, very simple device, just to segregate different fears. If you have trouble and fears in the relationship, family life, okay? And let's face it, many people, millions of people are out of work now in this country, 27 approaching 30% of the population. That takes 1/4 of the pie out of your life system, and that's tremendous tumult and uncertainty and fear. So and of course it affects all the others. And but if you could still stick to that model and don't let your fears from different aspects of your life all bunch up. We call it bunching, okay? And in counseling, you separate them basically and take them one at a time. So let's focus. What are you going to do instead of work? That since you're not getting income? Well, there are all these means. You're collecting unemployment. You're working at home. You're starting new jobs. You're transforming to digital livelihood, basically. So again, there are certain models to examine your life and that's self-awareness. And also in terms of fear, the backgrounds and traditions that I've inherited, I've trained in for overlapping 66 years, but totally 46 years. They're martial traditions. They're ancient monastic traditions where the healing arts were fully integrated in the martial arts. And the value of martial art training, which helps, and any martial artist will tell you, when you train enough, you know what's a real fear and what's an unreal fear. You don't waste energy fearing about a threat that really isn't there. And too much unreal fear is called neurosis, and one aspect of neurosis. And that, again, is one of the great training of the contemplative life and also the martial arts tradition in China, because what basically the philosophy that flows, that is activated by traditional Chinese, whether it's Taoist or Buddhist martial arts, I call martial Zen or Chan. It's the experience of Chan that flows from being properly trained. And so you know what is a real threat and what is not. And you don't waste energy on unreal fears. But now back to something, everyone has very real fears of livelihood. Anything that happens to your finance, when it's attacked or removed or disrupted, that's a physical attack. And you have to treat it as such. It's a physical injury, and you have to be careful. You have to guard your body against the ongoing effects of that physical attack. And thus, Qigong is even more important, essential than ever. Yeah, I'll stop there.
Thank you. Would anybody like to finish us with some last nuggets of wisdom, please?
I would. I think one opportunity here is to embrace change. This particular period of time is a reminder that nothing is static. Yin and Yang are a dynamic, interchanging process. Our lives are not proscripted or prescripted or predestined. They are constantly unfolding. And things that we have taken for granted may be things to which we now need to apply gratitude and awareness. This time is very, very useful for remembering what things are important, for examining your own values and priorities. Of course, our Qigong and martial practices are something that are of interest to the people in this group and people hopefully who are watching and listening. There are many ways into this. We all like this one. But the bottom line is that this particular time is a very powerful lesson from nature about reconnecting with the things that matter.
Thank you. And do you have any last pieces of wisdom to share with us, Chunyi?
Okay. I believe that this is a great time for people to slow down their life, to go deeper into the heart, connect the heart to the nature, to the universe. Qigong is a great way to help you to tune in, to discover the healer from within, to discover the master from within. And through my over 40 years Qigong study and over 30 years Qigong healing, I truly discovered from my heart that everybody was born a healer. Everybody was born with these beautiful gifts. You can help yourself to heal in any dimensions, and you can help others to heal too, allowing yourself to become a love radiator. Once you turn yourself and you position yourself in that position, any place you go to, you have this love with you, radiating this power to help others with more peace, help the world with more peace. Of course, you like attracts like. You're able to attract the people who have the same energy, people who have the same heart to connect, so that you can go deeper into your heart to discover how powerful you are. And you discover truly you were born a healer with these beautiful gifts, and you can help yourself to heal and you can help others to heal too. Thank you.
You as well. Yes, we in 1 minute or less.
Okay. Hi, everyone. I would just love to, again, extol the practice of Qigong. Hello?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. I'd like to just follow up and extol the practice of Qigong and encourage people to explore the wide universe of Qigong systems. And one useful criteria that I read, I think TK Scher's book, he describes Qigong in 3 aspects. Number one is Xing, the shape form of the body, okay? And different systems, styles of Qigong, have a different central shape form of the body, which includes movements too and choreography. Number two is Yi, mental focus, how you focus the mind. And third is the Qi, which really means breathing method. Your whole universe of Qigong styles vary in all three aspects: the shape form of the body,
and that's a minute.
the
So
mind,
thank you.
and last thing.
Thank you for sharing. Our next guest is queued up and ready to go. We're at the halfway point of our whole summit. So I want to particularly give my gratitude to all of you guys, all four of you, for being here and sharing this time with me, and our four previous guests, Bill Douglas, Effie Chow, Roger Jahnke, Michael Winn. And I see some of you guys still watching. That's totally loved and appreciated. And our next segment is coming up. We have 4 more awesome guests, followed by another panel discussion, and then we're doing the whole thing again on the next 2-hour block. So Lama is coming back on to introduce our next guest. So thank all of you for being here.